So welcome everybody to this webinar about turn challenges into success stories. I was supervisory board member in the 𝗲𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗃 project. The wireless in-body environment project provided a high quality and innovative doctoral training program for 16 young researchers. We had an international consortia that consisted of 4 European countries, but something was missing in the project team. And after a talk about this with the coordinator, he had the idea to integrate a special session for female researcher in the field of engineering in one of the seminar days. I was really inspired by this and contacted Dr. Mona Haug, who is an executive coach working in the field of power, leadership, and gender diversity. After this team coaching workshop, I realized change in the dynamics of the team. The PhD students opened themselves. They were open to their teammates. They started to interact with each other. They were just better off as a team. Through all of this, it was an iterative learning and working process. The coach offered me as well strategic advice and tips for my own position and development, which helped me to reflect and to develop myself in this project years.
Well, I actually think there needs to be a really good balance between focusing on the project result and developing a team and individuals at the same time. And I said sustainability could become a key factor. And as you can see in the graphic, we focused on the know-how transfer and developing competences and skills from several areas. In addition, they learned how to achieve their goals by creating a win-win situation for others and learn about power dynamics. Very, very important for these young people. In the first, as you can see here, was a group task. And I gave them a group task from a leadership training program that I usually conduct with managers. And I asked them to imagine that they were the managers. And it was their job to solve 3 employee situations. For the second workshop, as you can see here, that was a special thing that I organized, and I was really happy that those 2 managers from my network agreed to support the people because they were managers from international major companies, a CEO and a vice chairman. They had learned about strategies and being visible, which was noticeable, for example, in their actions, the conferences that we attended together.
We had the vision of recruiting equal number of people in both genders. So question now is, how can we nurture the students that we have so that they can become talents, and hopefully they will be becoming role models that we can showcase them so that we can attract more, for example, female students to engineering programs and male students to health sciences and clinical medicine programs. We were able to, use this as a first interesting question. Hopefully, then when they are finished with us, they go to universities or industry, and they will also have enough number of people to select, and there would be also equal representation when it comes to top management in the companies, and also when it comes to universities with professors and so forth. Our main interest here is long-term issue, how to showcase role models to attract new recruits, creating a vibrant scientific community with equal representation, developing tangible career development pathways for both genders.
I can remember one key moment in my professional life that sort of initiated sort of my rise in a leading position. And it is quite often, in my opinion, sort of part of the game to empower project leader to create or to have such a key moment. There must be a challenge on which basically this person can rise. Research projects in a European framework are perfectly suited for that purpose, to have this key moment. So this is a chance for seniors to train young potentials or high potentials to be future leaders in your group, in your company, or anywhere else. If you are investing, and it's an investment, time and money, in the training of own leaders, this allows you to preserve a company's own culture and policy. This company or scientific group to be really sustainable, to be efficient, and as we see in these challenging times under pandemic conditions, also to be robust, especially under stress.
The picture reflects this tradition in my own country, which is these human towers. To build this human tower, you need mutual trust. The people need to trust each other to build this tower. People need to work together to follow, of course, a strategy and a structure. And so to learn that a joint success is not only the addition of individual contributions, but the joint success is the consequence of a joint work. Look at the picture as well. At the bottom side of this picture, you can see a man. I put it into a star, who is like laughing, saying things. Is the director of this orchestra, is the coach. Someone from the outside, with an outside perspective of what is happening in the project, can tell us what is necessary to really improve. And of course, we took care, and I think the coach helped a lot in this sense to make them understand that the diversity of their origins is not blocking any kind of cooperation.
To enlarge your skills, but at the same time, you have to manage yourself, you have to organize your work, and you need to keep your enthusiasm all the time. So you need also, from the opposite side, a good amount of soft skills too. And that's the reason why I think that mental coaching was helpful for ESRs to find the strength and their own motivation to accomplish an excellent job that ITN programs require. We were between universities and companies, and as a researcher, as a PhD candidate, we had to find out the way to attract the managers, to attract your colleagues in the company, because you know, to attract the interest on what you do. For that people get involved in others people's work, they get interested in others people's work, you have to create a team. And that's the reason why I think scheduling start before with a coaching session would be a better idea.
At the beginning, I expected to have a normal lesson as at the university, so with the professor and the alumni, so analyze your personality, etc. Actually, it wasn't. It was very dynamic and heterogeneous. At the beginning, we focused our attention on ourselves, so to analyze our strengths and weakness, and then we passed to analyze ourselves in the group. So not just a single person, but a part of a team, an international team. So with some barrier, as explained before Dr. Cardona, for example, not only technical background, different backgrounds, but also cultural, we could create some difficulties at the beginning. It could be useful to have at the beginning of the project or during the first year, a session between the candidate, the students, PhD students, and the supervisor, in order to help the cohesion and also the path of mentorship.
But personally, I feel that understanding the strength and weakness of each individual is quite difficult. And during this entire team coaching, through the tasks, we could actually understand a part of our strength and weakness. And then we could also help each other, because being a part of the team, if, for example, we came from different cultural background as well as different places. So being a non-native English speaker, some of us had actually some problems too with the soft skills. And then during this entire team coaching, we also work on these soft skills, because these soft skills are really important for the entire career, because maybe we can have a lot of technical knowledge, but if we go to an interview and then we fail to express ourselves in the proper way, then our technical knowledge doesn't help us. I think that the team coaching should be done for the entire duration of 4 years, because we had a couple of seminars and that was all. But then we think that if this team coaching is integrated with this, with our entire PhD work, then it could be more beneficial for each one of us.
So it's a really nice place for us to understand ourselves better, to prioritize time. The next one is if you're somebody who don't know what to do after PhD. If you think academia is, I like academia, I also like industry, I don't know where to go next, where should I go next, I don't know if there is another calling for me. If you're somebody like that, I think it is also going to be super relevant for all of you guys, because this helps you to, again, coming back to the point, to understand yourself and find your strengths so that you can chart out what should be my roadmap post PhD, for example. When it comes to the budgeting of the project like this, the budget that would go into a team coaching would be so minimal when compared to a PhD student who by himself goes for a coaching like this. For the cost, the hands which is shown in the slides at the last one would suddenly inverse if a student is supposed to pay for it and the value he gets out of it, just because he's thinking more in terms of how much I can get considering the financial structure. But for a project which is of European level and any grant level, I think this should be easily accommodate this.
Are coming from very different cultures, and they will not necessarily in a project being able to communicate. It demands that you are self-confident, that you are enabled with verbal skills to tell the other one that is my language and that is your language, and we need a kind of dictionary. Coaching could be, in fact, a kind of dictionary, which is enabling then each and helping each of the members of a team to express more easily what is important for me, what is my contribution to the project, and maybe the other one could understand me more easily. I think that is a crucial factor. And when I'm now going to lead this big AI Mind project, which will start in March with 14 million euros budget, which is a tremendous amount of money from taxpayers, then I really wish that I will at once start this translation, this dictionary work, which I see I need as well as a researcher help, because I'm not necessarily the expert in writing dictionaries.
We believe that researchers like the ones that have presented earlier today, that have gone through this experience, can become information multipliers to attract more researchers and more high quality institutions in this kind of project and teamwork. Apart from scientific and technical training, one of the success factors for the researcher of today and for the researcher of tomorrow is to acquire a big array of soft skills. And definitely being able to operate efficiently within a team is one of these success factors. Specifically now in team coaching, so this is an approach that has already shown its merits and is definitely suitable for research in general. You can include it already in your proposal when you propose it for funding. And the budget allocated to funded project can also cover costs for team coaching.
The key to make this coaching work on practice, it is to establish a smooth communication with projects, always based on mutual trust. I like to think that I'm part of these projects, maybe an external part, but it is so important that the coordinator, the fellows, the beneficiaries see me like someone who is there and who will try to support them and to help them in the process. I need to be sure that they are receiving an appropriate training, supervision, and they have appropriate work conditions. But we also need to check if they are aware of their rights and obligations as a Marie Sklodowska-Curie Actions Fellows. At the end of the project, my coaching task is centralized in provide advice on dissemination and exploitation of the project resource, especially for projects with outstanding results that are flagged as a success stories.
But we all wanted to succeed. We wanted to achieve the goal. And when we started to this project, we had the technical aim in mind that we all wanted to achieve. But in order to achieve this technical scientific project and the goal, the team coaching opened the early stage researchers, and they started to grow like a watered flower, and we enabled a team bonding. And this finally reflects the result of the scientific aims and the overall project aim.
As we have mentioned before, we believe that an external coach, a sparring partner, is an accelerating factor for results and outcomes. What is really, really, really important due to power dynamics is an exchange between the supervisors, the managers, the CEO, or decision-making people and the coach, in addition with the coach and the team. And that is because, you know, power dynamics, they need to be handled. Afterwards, both reflect their performance individually with the coach, because they might be learning on both sides. All taken together, this approach can be flexibly aligned to the given situation, whatever your demands are and your budget allows. It fosters cooperation instead of competition, loyalty, sustainability, and strengthens performance outcomes.
Thank you for listening to this webinar. Feel free to get in contact with us.